Hi, everyone. I'm here with John from AGCO, and we're here to talk about FarmerCore, which is really, I think, quite different than many of the other offerings out there. Something new that you just announced. And it really, from my perspective, seemed to have a farmer's focus, a focus really on the farmer's needs. Can you tell us more about that? Why did you start that? What inspired your group to start that?
Yeah, sure. So just to be clear, it's FarmerCore, which I think even gets more to the heart of your question. And AGCO, one of our strategic goals is to be the most farmer first oriented OEM in the industry. And this is a next evolution of that strategy come into play in the market. And, FarmerCore is exactly that. It's all about putting the farmer at the core of the distribution, the ownership, the purchase, the service journey, everything around the machine and doing, and leveraging that machine on farm, but also then the maintenance, the service, making sure it's there and it's maximize uptime, etc. All of that fits into this FarmerCore mantra, but also taking it directly to the farm. So flipping the script of traditional distribution and bringing that experience, whether it's on the physical outlet side, the mobile service side, the digital tools that bring this to life, but everything revolving and empowering the farmer to choose how they want to do business with AGCO, our brands, and our dealers, and making sure we can forward stage the physical outlets, but also the parts, and as close to in close proximity to the farmer as possible to make that as efficient as easy. So, FarmerCore, just to summarize, based on really three key elements: physical smart network coverage using alternative format type locations. So not everything revolving around the big mega structures and those dealership locations and having everybody have to come in, getting more rooftops out into the market, right sized for those territories so we can get as close to the customers. Might be a smaller footprint, but we have more of them anchoring in the local community as close to the customers as possible. And then from there, it's all right, how do we supplement that with the mobile and on-farm solutions? So then how do we take the mobile service trucks and make sure we've got enough and the right type of technicians, the right type of smart toolings, the right type of diagnostics capabilities that we can fast responses on farm to maximize the uptime, but also the convenience for the farmer. They don't have to leave their place of business. They don't have to leave their operation. If there is an issue, we come to them. If there's maintenance required, we can come to them. They can choose how they want to do business on farm or in shop. And finally, the digital tools, which will create this, convenience thread, this connection thread back from the farmer to the customer. From the farmer to the dealer, or farmer to AGCO, or our brands, depending on how much that customer wants to engage. There'll be pathways there, or of course pick up a phone, call somebody. But it's all about ease of access of information and simplicity in doing business with AGCO and our brands and our dealers.
One of the things that intrigued me on the digital front was, I think a lot of times farmers, they want to use digital tools, but they don't always have the time to figure it out, if you will. And maybe we know statistically farmers are older, so maybe sometimes they also feel intimidated by the technology. So this to me seemed that you were in many ways enabling the farmers to use the technology just because you're making it simpler for them. Do you think that's a fair assessment, or?
Yeah, I'd say there's aspects to FarmerCore that would be true, right? And so it's really on the experience side. If I need to get to, for example, I have a machine there's an issue. I know I need an air filter. Let's just keep it super simple. We want to make it as easy as possible for that farmer to know, hey, that's something I can do myself. Like I just need the part. What is the right part number? Do they have any in stock at my local store? Can I just drive there and get it? If I can't, how do I order it? How does it get to my farm fast? Or how does it get near farm where I can go 5 minutes and pick it up versus having to drive 45 minutes somewhere? So all of those pieces of the experience are encompassed in the FarmerCore mindset in our strategic program. And that's what we want to enable into the market. When you get into products like, precision guidance and the telemat, like there's a lot of those elements that, certainly impact the farmer. that are included, I guess, in the customer facing digital solutions. But to me, it's the experience elements that are really trying to simplify and make it as simple as possible for that customer to engage and do business with the dealers and to do business with the brands and to maximize efficiency and information flow, from their machines.
Okay. And a lot of the emphasis, again, to me, seemed to me like you're, and I think you said it, you're trying to save the farmer time. Is that a fair assessment? Instead of him driving everywhere back and forth and, be it to look at tractors or to get it to go in for servicing, that kind of thing, or it seemed to me that your focus, really the FarmerCore, the core of what you're trying to do is really about, you said it, making the farmer's life easier, but part of that seemed to me to be strategically to make it easy and less time consuming for the farmer to do business with you. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely an element of it. It's, as we went out and talked to lots of global dealers about their pain points, their experience today, various themes popped up, personalization, like, hey, know who I am, know my business, et cetera, which comes into our smart network coverage. It's not like we're just doing away with all our stores and everything's going to be digital online and you call into a center, or that could be an aspect that over time unlocks certain pieces of value. We're anchoring into the local community with more local footprint, more local square footage. It might be a smaller, square footage than a traditional big, huge mega store, but there's a local presence in the farm. And then that also enables the convenience piece together with the mobile service technicians who might be, they might live in your community. They might not be operated out of a brick and mortar store, but that technician lives in the community and they can get to their 20, 30-mile radius super fast. And over time, they will build that relationship. But it's also about speed to resolution, especially in unplanned downtime events. I mean, of course, you've got a little buffer and, scheduled maintenance, but unplanned downtime, how fast can we respond to an issue? And that's all about, there's a proximity element, there's a digital element involved in this too, which is, remote diagnostics, remote being able to understand what the issue is before you ever have to get in onto the farm and see it. So there's elements in play there but it all ties into speed to resolution. Certainly there's a convenience element when you get into the purchase journey side. But I think at the core, it's really about, how fast can how can we build this network in a way where we can get super fast speed to resolution and unplanned downtime, maximize convenience, and ultimately bring that or enable that experience to happen on farm as much as that customer wants.
Okay. What do you see as, so this is the launch. What do you see as the next level that you think you'll be, and I know you can't talk about it probably in detail, but what do you think are those next things that you hope to be offering as part of this? Because, we can see that this would likely be something that will grow over time and that you'll offer more. So what do you think is the future, or how do you think this is going to, maybe a better question is, how do you think this is going to impact farming in the future? Like, how is farming going to change in the future as a result of this?
So ultimately with FarmerCore, what we're doing is we're creating this super strong foundation and this end-to-end distribution and ownership life cycle for our customer, meaning, we're making it like everything we talked about, speed to resolution, making it easy to do business. So ultimately, how does this impact a farmer? I think over time, the farmer will change their expectations and their demands as they see more and more physical infrastructure getting closer to them, more and more mobile service offerings in their area territories, the digital ecosystem over, the next 1, but also 3, 5, 10, like it's going to grossly, expand over time. And there's a bit of a wow factor in that space. And I don't know if it's in 18 months or in 18 years, but there's some really cool stuff that's going to happen in our industry, right? And that's going to also change. It's happening everywhere else. It's going to impact our customers' expectations, and FarmerCore at the heart of it is bringing this experience elements together on the physical and digital side. as well as some of the, those customer facing tools that help them optimize their performance in field, all that will impact the customer in a positive way, whether it's speed to resolution, speed to service. And the goal is that they start demanding this from everybody they're doing. They see the AGCO network implementing these pieces across those three pillars, and they're going to start expecting and demanding that from everybody in the industry, and from our dealers as well. So we'll have to continue to up our game and how we're delivering to them.
Okay. And I think, I don't know if you'd want to talk a little bit about, I know that you experimented this, I believe in Kentucky, but maybe I'm wrong about where. I believe you experimented with this model on a smaller scale before you went large scale. And could you tell us some of the things that you learned from it, in the sense of how did you adapt your strategy based on what you learned maybe from the trial?
Sure. Yeah. So Ag Revolution is a dealer in Kentucky, Indiana, and parts of Illinois. It is a AGCO owned entity, but it operates just like any dealership, right? There's nothing is different between them and any other dealer, other than, some reporting structure somewhere. They operate fundamentally as a dealer. They are connected to AGCO though. And so it's a great opportunity for us to work together and explore the art of the possible when it comes to how do you delight customers, how do you bring service closer to them, really lean into the on-farm first mindset, and see, the impact it has to the customers. Obviously, you can't go 100% on farm, have no physical infrastructure. They have these smaller footprint type stores. They got some good, really, really nice locations, but I think in the grand scheme of things, they're really medium-sized footprints that are delivering that local presence, that anchor, the in-shop space that's needed. But the focus of them are to enable that on-farm experience for the customers. And they're doing a fantastic job of getting out there on-farm, talking to customers, servicing customers, really delighting and bringing that experience all the way to the farm. And so that's part of what we learned through as Stacy, the CEO of Ag Revolution, brought that organization to where it is today over the past couple of years. There's a lot of value to the farmers in doing it this way. As long as you have the base infrastructure in place, you can really lean into bringing that experience to the farm. And so that helped us shape our strategy a little bit to understand, hey, these three pillars, physical, mobile, digital, like they work in tandem, and let's make sure that we're pushing across all three of those areas. And we've learned that it's possible, and we can drive it forward.
Okay, it's very cool, right? I think it's very cool how it originated, and the fact that you did kind of test it out really for a significant period of time before you move forward with it. And maybe my last question. So farmers watching this interview on their phone, and they're like, I like this idea. What are the things that they can do? How do they know if it's in their neighborhood? All that kind of stuff. What can a farmer do now to become part of a FarmerCore user, if you will?
Sure. Yeah. The biggest thing for the farmers is, as they see this, and if they're excited about it, talk to their local dealer in their territory and understand what it means for them, if they're part of the pilot phase or not. So just a caveat, we are operating in a pilot phase in 24, where we're rolling out to a handful of dealers in the low single or low double digits, I guess, in both North America and South America in 24. So the answer might not be, hey, or the answer might be, yeah, we know about it. We're excited to participate as a dealer, but we're just not there yet. So it might be a slow rollout for certain farmers, but any interest from a farmer, go to the dealer, talk to your local dealer, understand what's implemented there or not, and show that interest to the dealers, and they can push it back up to us, and we can hopefully get them on the list and get some of these pillars executed out into their markets. But just to reiterate, like FarmerCore is super exciting for us. It's really bringing this farmer first strategy to life in the industry and across this end-to-end distribution and ownership life cycle. And so we're really excited about how we can push further on the mobile mindset, getting more of the service, more of the uptime, more of the engagement on farm, pushing on these alternative formats, getting more rooftops in the market, and finally, we'll continue to build on this digital suite of customer facing digital tools and experiences that I think will really tie all that value together over time. So we're super excited.